brings up a lot of questions for me about safety, which I've seen a lot of people mention of like, does that remove the crumple zone? Does that change safety? But I'm also thinking like, is this a new paradigm for vehicle about how vehicles are going to be built? And what does that mean? You know, is every vehicle with curved edges now like a thing of the past?
Yeah, it's funny because we're naturally sort of flowing in between these topics that we've agreed to talk about for this recording, and I think it's beautiful and wonderful. Um, I don't know enough about the material science and the production of this exoskeleton and the cold rolled steel. I want to do a little bit more digging into it, and I try to look for the email before we hit record. But I want to say thank you to the person who sent both of us some research on the rolled steel and the types of production. I don't want to say the actual name of it because I want to sort of give us the best chance of putting out this content before anyone else does. But thank you to this person who sent that to us and all the research that he did. I do think it's really interesting. I do wonder if this, in a lot of ways, it seems to make sense in terms of production costs. It appears like it's going to be lower. It's going to take less to produce the actual body of the vehicle, and so there's not going to be any actual panels. That's the frame. The frame is going to be the actual thing that they start producing. So that's really interesting to me. I do think that there is some innovation there, and I do wonder if this is one of those things where we'll look back in 10 years and say, "My God, this was the shift from this body on frame design that the automotive industry is used to this new sort of exoskeleton, approach that Tesla is pioneering." I guess some of the obstacles that I think Tesla's going to have to overcome is because it's a new production process, it's probably going to be expensive initially. My guess is steel in general, it's been around for a while, so it's not like, I'm sure that the cost to get steel is probably pretty low, but the cold rolled process, the 30 times cold rolled process, I think is really interesting. The making of the actual vehicle, I think, will be less expensive, but there's got to be some innovations there, and I'm really curious if SpaceX and Tesla can sort of tag team to try and either get the cost really low to produce the actual materials, and or I wonder if this might be a good business case for Tesla and or SpaceX to actually buy a steel mill or company.
And I've heard a bunch of theories that this is actually a way for them to combine their steel purchasing power and drop the price, Tesla and SpaceX. But even just taking a step back, it's like they've collaborated. You know, we're always talking about how Elon Musk has amazing engineers. SpaceX is such a resource. This is the first time that I can think of we're seeing such a strong crossover in technology on a consumer product for Tesla that was developed at SpaceX. Like, this is cutting edge material science that they built for Mars, and now we're bringing it to the automotive industry. So I think it's really cool to see that kind of synergy come into play with that. But honestly, I need to do more homework into this material because it's so complicated. And like you said, like, we got that email and it just seems like a totally different way to build the frame of a vehicle than anyone else is doing. And I have to think there's pros and cons with that, but on a net basis, there must be a lot of reasons why Tesla chose to do it this way and usher in this sort of new paradigm of how to build vehicles.
I agree, and I don't think it's just a avant-garde, brash design choice. I think that there really are some strong business considerations with this technology. I think that there's a lot more than meets the eye with what we're seeing here, and over the next several months, as you and I dive into the technology, I think that we'll share this stuff out as we learn more, just like what we did in 2019 with the Maxwell technology. Like, that was, in my opinion, that was sort of the theme for my focus and energy, and I think it was for you as well. We just dove as deep as possible into the battery tech and the Maxwell piece. So maybe this is maybe this is the 2020 theme. Like, how is this going to disrupt the automotive industry, this production process? How's it going to impact cost of producing the vehicle? And are the margins going to be significantly better than what anyone has ever seen in the automotive industry?